Hey everybody, how you doing? So I only had 3 hours of sleep last night because I may have stayed up a little bit late playing this crazy game. That's the truth actually. But tonight I moved forward a little bit and something happened in the middle of this 3.5 long month break that the second league, second tier of Austrian football has. We got a job offer and it's an interesting one. Winter is coming for us. I'll explain more in the episode, but I was standing there dumbfounded by this inbox, just staring at it and realizing I needed to make a decision and that I couldn't. And that 3 hours of sleep wasn't helping at all. So I said, wait a second, I'm going to ask people who have functioning brains. So that's the idea behind this episode. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons as I understand them. And then I'm going to ask you for help. Put down in the comments whether you think we should stay or go. So I hope you'll stick around and listen to all the information and then help me out. It's not going to be a long episode because again, I've only had 3 hours of sleep, so I'm probably going to forget a lot of the facts one way or the other, but let's dig in and get started. Okay, let's jump in and take a look. We have a few things to talk about first, and this may not be the most coherent episode because when you're kind of sleep deprived, my brain tends to wander, but I'm going to try to stay focused. Remind me if you see me wandering to stay on task. First up, some news. If we go to our home profile here, my profile, Continental B license. Yes, we graduated again. We're at 2.25 stars, and that may be connected to some of the things that are happening. Not only that, but the board said, go right ahead, get your Continental A license, which takes a year. So in a year, we'll have the second highest license in the game, which is really good news. Some of our attributes went up and all those kinds of good, happy things. So that's happy days. And just to kind of lay some context, it's about 2 months since we were last together. And let's talk a little bit about what's happened with our current team, because our decision really is stay or go. Now, if you recall the last episode, which was actually 2 months ago in game time, we had just lost consecutive 1-0 games on penalties given up to the other team, dropping us off the pace of the first place team, Amstetten. I thought at the end of that week, we were going to be 10 points out of first place, approaching the halfway point in the season. But some minor good news. We won our next game and Amstetten stumbled, losing and drawing their games. So we're at exactly the halfway point of this season, exactly halfway through this 3.5-month-long winter break, and we're 5 points off of the top of the table. Now, the other thing I'm thinking is, we need help at wings. So I've been concentrating this offseason and looking at wings and improving our attacking wings. Couldn't find any in the summer. I've found some wings now. And I've got one of them already signed. This guy, Oliver Mockouts, can play on the right and the left. Pretty decent speed, pretty decent physicals, good, decent crossing, can't finish, but he's an upgraded attacking wing compared to what we've got right now. Value, $325,000, making him the most valuable player we have on our team now. Got him in for 230 pounds a week. I think he was desperately unemployed, or maybe he just likes our team. I'm not really sure. Holds no real opinion of me, so it certainly wasn't my charm that brought him in. Stay on task, don't get into the weeds. And I was talking to Old Lady Plays, and it's kind of funny because she said, you should look for wingers from Scandinavia. And I'm like, we can't even scout to Scandinavia. We can only really look at Austria and maybe some of the neighboring places around Germany. But lo and behold, this guy shows up from Norway. It's a free agent. He says, I'm looking for work. We take him in on a trial. Look at this, really good physicals, pretty decent mentals. Corners 14, crossing 14. He can cross, he can dribble, he can finish, and he can pass, and he can play on the right and the left. Well, the left is a winger, which is the desperate spot we need him. He's a little bit pricey. Normally, I'd try to wait him out during this time, but I've got an offer out to him for about 400 and something pounds per week because we can kind of afford it now. We sold some players and stuff like that too. So if we could bring him in, that and the other guy we got in, that could kind of solve our winger problem. I've also got 3 or 4 other wingers that I'm kind of nursing through this transfer period. We might end up with 3 pretty decent wingers, which would improve our weak spot, making it maybe a little bit more likely that we could close that 5-point gap with that top team. I mean, for sure, stranger things have happened, although I would still put us on the outside looking in, and would have to fend off Wacker Innsbruck and SV Horn, who aren't that far away from us either. So that's where we are right now. We could potentially be fighting for promotion because only the top team gets promoted. We have to be number 1 to make it to the top tier in Austrian football. Now, let's talk about what else has happened. We got 3 job offers. Let me mention the first one. The first one came from Hungary. Top level of Hungarian football. I was pretty excited. I almost went for this one, but at the end, I decided, where'd they go? Here they are. BFC Shifok. I'm not quite sure how to say it. They're in 11th place out of 12 teams. They offered us a job with a huge transfer budget, really big wage budget. I think $1 million in transfer. That's not too bad. But I turned them down for 3 reasons. One, we would have used up all our miles and we would have had to go east to do it. So we would have to coming all the way back, probably up to like Poland or Croatia really for our next move. So it really limited us as to options moving forward. So in the end, I decided, plus the prestige of this league, this OTP Bank Liga, is actually one higher than our current league in the second tier of Austrian football. So it's not really that high of a prestige jump up. That was our first one. I turned it down. Then we got another one, our second one. This was the one that was really interesting. This one hurt because I felt like our home rules made it so that we had to turn it down. It was from Tipico Bundesliga, the top level of Austrian football. 3 teams came looking for us, offering us interviews. 2 of them turned us down, but the 6th place team, SK Austria Klagenfurt, mid-table finish, offered us a job. Tons of money, £5,000 a week. We're only getting £1,400 a week now. A lot of money. But we have a house rule that said if we change jobs, we have to change countries. So that meant I had to turn them down. And turn them down I did, with some sadness in my heart. But fast forward a few weeks, in comes another job offer. Winter is coming. Here it is. Winter Thur approach Blitz. Now, Winter Thur, you might be saying, where are they? Well, they are in Raiffeisen Super League, Switzerland. That's right. Chocolate, banks, watches, mountains, yodeling, yo-ho-ho-ho, right? The 11th ranked team in the 11th ranked league in Europe. A huge jump up in league prestige. So tempting. Look at the offer too. I'm making $1,400, $2,900 per week. It would double our salary. Where is the club? So we are at the right end of this line you can see on the map here. If I zoom in a little bit, in Austria. Winter Thur is here in the northern part of Switzerland. It's a perfect move geographically. We could go from there into the heartland of Germany. We could cut into France. We could go southwest to the French Riviera, which would put us even potentially in for a move to Spain after that. How awesome would that be? Or we could go straight southeast into the industrial heartland of Italy for our 4th move. So lots of potential, even upwards to Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg for move number 4. It's a perfect location move-wise. However, it's not all gold and glitter with the Winter Thur offer here, because there is some winter is coming to this offer. First of all, take a look at the transfer budget. £1,500? Are you kidding me? For the top tier, the 11th ranked league in Europe, that's not much. Now, it's January 15th right now, so it actually is winter already, and Winter Thur is coming. Their transfer window just opened up today in Switzerland. It goes for 6 weeks. So we'd have 6 weeks to fiddle around with the team and the budget, but we'd have to pretty much be relying on free agents. Now, you might say, well, how much room is there in the wage budget? I don't really know. They're offering a salary of £52,000 per week to play with for the team. I went into the team itself and I kind of just randomly, lightly added up all the wages that were here for the team, and it adds up to about $52,000. So I think we'd have to sell some players, then try to bring some free agents in, which is going to be tough. I mean, you can bring free agents in at the level we're at and improve your team, but bringing in free agents over the winter for the 11th ranked league in Europe, that's going to be pretty hard. It would require some gymnastics, probably really requiring us to kind of trust the players that we have. And looking at the players that we have, our highest valued player is $500,000. If we look at some of the other teams here, for example, Sion, which is in 9th place, right above us in the league, and we look at their players and sort their players by value, they have 9 players worth more than ours. Their highest ranked player is $3.5 million, and they're in 9th place. If you look at our stadium, for this one, for Winter Thur, stadium seats only 2,000 people with a 10,000 capacity roughly. All these other teams like Servette, 30,000 all-seater. Lausanne Sport, 26, 12,000. That's pretty small. Young Boys, of course, 32,000. These teams have budgets that are much larger. We're clearly a minnow in a big league. And if we look at where we are, 10th place, 7 points away from the safe zone, 2 teams to climb over to get out of it. 18 games played so far. They play 36. So we'd play each of the other 9 teams 2 more times in the second half of the season and would have 6 weeks before the next match to get ready for it. So we'd have a winter transfer, pretty much using the players we've got. Maybe we could sell and pick up a few more, and we'd have a relegation fight. Claw and tooth, nail, digging for it, but we would love every step of it. I mean, what a challenge that would be. But there you have it. I think I've said everything that I wanted to mention. Do we stay or do we go? I'm really at a loss, probably because I'm pretty sleep deprived and I'm not really thinking that clearly. Maybe this is totally obvious, and maybe you're going to put down there in the comments, you could say, this is totally obvious. You should go because XYZ. Or this is totally obvious. You should stay because XYZ. Let me know what you think. I could use your help. It's Saturday morning now for where I'm going to see this. So what I'm thinking is I'll look at this, I'll kind of putz around with it, and then I'm going to make a decision on Sunday, and I'm going to come back, and we'll be back on Tuesday, either continuing on with where we are or having jumped to Thur. Now, if we stay and there is a really good offer, it might not be this, right? It might not be this one, because I do have one other job offer out there that I think is a super big long shot. It's in the Bundesliga to Mainz. And now the fans laughed it off. They said, he's not going to get it. But the press has some speculation out there that we might actually get an interview. I don't think we're going to get it because Mainz, 3.5-star reputation. Are you kidding me? Middle of the Bundesliga? That's way up there. I just don't think we got a chance for that one. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. And there seems to be some interest from top-tier teams now that we've had some success at a couple of clubs here. So I'm babbling on now. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Stay or go? Anything I'm missing? Anything I'm not thinking of? Love to hear what you think, and then we'll go forward from there. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm super excited to read what you're going to put in there. Oh, I should mention too, right? We should take one last thing. Let's take a quick look at the Guess the Point Total competition, because that might influence some of your answers. So let's finish up with the update to Guess the Point Total competition. I don't want to forget this, even on 3 hours of sleep. Here's what the standings are right now. NiceVid said 32 points. Currently, we have 30 points. He's the closest one to the correct total and would win the Nickname a Player total game if we happen to leave right now in the middle of the season. If we stuck around, odds are looking pretty good for FM Greeno or Dragons, unless we have a really bad run, in which case NiceVids might still win and hang on. But there you have it. I didn't want to forget this. But I do look forward to reading your comments and hearing what you think about our job offers. Talk to you again soon. Have a great weekend.